Hey everyone, it's your FNP BonOakley here, and today I want to discuss the variety of secondary weapons the Pyro now has. As you know, from the Jungle Inferno update, the Pyro snagged 2 new secondaries that are far different from what they already had, a jetpack and a gas canister. With these new additions alongside the tried and true shotguns and flare guns, what exactly is the best choice for the Pyro with all these choices opened up to them? Well, let's find out. So, the shotguns are pretty straightforward. Depending on what you're using, the shotgun will usually do pretty decent damage to your enemy around mid to close range. As for the panic attack, it's alright for sneakier attacks, which is what the Pyro excels in. Essentially, the shotguns overall are great for when you've run out of ammo for the flamethrower, or are just too far away to hit the enemy. Regardless of which one you choose, it's a safe choice for when your flamethrower just can't do the job. Next up is the flare guns. The flares are great for long range attacks and for constant reliable damage. They're made even better if the enemy is already on fire, seeing as how it does critical damage. The detonator and scorch shot are especially great for dealing with groups of enemies, seeing as you can damage them all at the same time, but with slightly less damage than the normal flare gun. However, that still makes them great for when you get overwhelmed by a bunch of skunts. Overall, the flare guns are good for long range attacks, and especially if you want to stay out of harm's way. And for the detonator and scorch shot, they're really good for crowd control regardless of distance from the enemy. Now for the newest additions for the secondary slot. First for the newbies is the gas passer. This is the very first throwable item for the Pyro, and it's okay. As you know from my impressions, this covers the enemies in gasoline and sets them on fire if they take damage from anything, including fall damage. One note I didn't talk about in the impressions video is the fact that the whole idea of additional afterburn is pretty pointless. I mean, why rework the flamethrower's afterburn to last a shorter time depending on how long they were attacked, if you're just going to add a pretty mediocre weapon for just reverse the afterburn effects back and for taking any kind of damage. Anyway, this video isn't about ragging on the weapon, this is about seeing how useful it can be. Like I said, you can throw it at enemies and it will linger around for a short time. I believe this is possibly the strongest perk of the weapon, as it makes for an excellent area of denial utility and trap for unaware foes. This is especially the case for smaller maps with tighter hallways and paths. They won't want to pass through, as they'll have to try and dodge everything that comes at them if they want to survive. The thought of afterburn is probably the most frightening thing about this, and so this makes it great for stopping a push, if only temporarily. It can also serve as a great sneak attack tool too, as you could team up with a sniper or scout and pick off a medic pretty easily with good teamwork. That's one possibility, but overall this is a great item to use in conjunction with your team and not for solo suicide runs. Lastly is the thermal thruster. This jetpack can allow the Pyro to fly over unsuspecting enemies and attack from out of nowhere. Now this alongside a strong flamethrower for sneak attacks like the backburner and the phlogistonator can make for a devastating attack when the enemies don't see you. I find the backburner works the best with this, seeing as how you don't have to fill up a meter like the flog. The problem with the thruster, however, is if an enemy spots you. If they're either a soldier or a soldier/pyro with a reserve shooter, then they can take you out pretty easily. The other problem is even if you want to switch to your primary weapon to attack them back, it takes forever to switch out to it, making it easier for them to kill you before you have a chance. Without a doubt, the thermal thruster is great for wide open maps such as Sweden, Upwood, Two Fort to an extent, and a bunch of others. If you want to go and be a strong independent pyro who don't need no medic, this is also another great option, seeing as how you can mess with the enemy team a little and just get out no problem, if you give yourself enough time, that is. Basically, this is great for if you want to be a loner, like me, and just dick about. So then, what is the best secondary you can choose for the Pyro? Well, none of the options are particularly bad if I'm honest. Now, this isn't me copping out and being a Pyro fanboy, as people will surely say, but in all fairness, each of Pyro's secondary choices can be great depending on your playstyle and how you want to play Pyro. Yes, even after the tweaks, Pyro's admittedly still a jack of all trades, so if you want something to fall back on in certain situations, use the shotgun. If you like to be a nuisance from a distance or like to crowd control, use the flare guns. If you want to support the team and help deny the enemy team from pushing, use the gas passer. If you want to be a dick, if you want to go out and nag the enemy team and surprise them, use the thermal thruster. If you want my choice on the matter, however, I would usually go with a shotgun or thermal thruster, as sometimes I can deal with enemies better with a shotgun, or since hardly anyone plays medic anymore, the thermal thruster is great for going solo and annoying the enemy team. But what do you think is the best secondary for the Pyro? Let me know down below, and as always, this has been your FNP BonOakley, and I'll see you in the next one. See you!